Did you guys miss me? Guess what day it is? It's Wednesday, my dudes. How's it going, lads and lasses? It is Wednesday evening and we have got an exciting weekend ahead of us. Tomorrow morning we are flying to Bangor, Northern Ireland for the McCullagh International Meet. This meet is going to be very different compared to previous meets that I've already done. So the way this meet is set out is that the heats or prelims will be done on the evening and the finals will take place on the morning session. So pretty much it's in reverse to a normal competition. The reason why they've done this is because it's the Olympic year and this is going to be the structure for the Olympic Games in Tokyo in swimming. So it's going to be a very competitive meet. A lot of Britain's top swimmers are going to be going to this meet in order to prepare themselves for the Olympic Games and conditioning themselves to swim fast on a morning. I'm hoping that makes some sort of sense to you guys. I'm very excited to try an unusual structure than what I'm used to. So it'll be nice to see how this competition goes. We have a very, very early flight tomorrow morning as racing begins tomorrow night. I will be racing in the 100 metre freestyle and the 100 metre breaststroke, which I think is a good way to start this competition. Right now I need to pack because I always leave things to the last minute. Oopsies. So now I'm all packed and ready to go for Ireland tomorrow morning. Like I say, we've got a very early flight tomorrow morning. I think I'm waking up about 4 in the morning because we have to be there at 5:15 and it's quite a trek to get to the airport. So I will see you guys bright and early tomorrow morning. I suppose you noticed my dartboard in the background. Yeah, that's completely fake because that's the real standard of how I play darts. So if anybody wants to challenge me at darts, feel free. You will probably beat me. Alright, I'll see you in the morning.
The next day.
Good morning, lads and lasses. We are now on our way to the airport. And unfortunately, my mum drew the short straw of taking me to the airport.
Morning.
Obviously not very happy. Too windy. So at this point we were delayed by 45 minutes on the plane because someone managed to get on the wrong plane. I don't know, you tell me. We have arrived in Belfast. We were delayed by 40 minutes because someone was on the wrong plane. We're eventually here and we dropped our bags off. We're going to check in later on, but we're getting some food now because we're all starving. This sun is so bright.
Eventually.
Heading to the pool now for day one. And so racing has now begun. We are starting off with the 100 metre freestyle. I am in lane 0, which will show at the bottom of your screen. And my two teammates are in lane 7 and 9. So yeah, I'm all on me Todd on the other side of the pool. I know, how sad. So bearing in mind that we have been awake since 4 AM and the time we started this race was at around 5 PM, it's fair to say that it has been a very long day. But these are the type of conditions we need to practice in case anything like this happens at a British Championships or at a National Championships. And we need to perform to the best of our abilities, no matter how tired or fatigued we feel. The aim of this race was just to go out hard and see how much I could hang on. I was third at the 50 metre mark and I managed to hold on to third all the way through to the finish. Yeah, I'm not going to lie to you guys, the last 15 metres of this race really hurt. My arms and legs just started to seize up. But it's the 100 metre free. It's going to happen. However, I finished this race with a new personal best time, and with all things considering, I am very happy with how this swim went.
1 hour later.
Well, thank you very much, SpongeBob narrator. It was around 1 hour later, I was back in the pool, but this time I am now racing in the 100 metre breaststroke. I was in the first of the seeded heats. The reason why there is seeded heats is because so the fastest 10 swimmers don't race against each other in the heats, because there will be a final the next day for the event, so they then split them up into 3 heats along with the top 30 swimmers in the event. Once again, you guessed it, I'm in lane 0, so that was easy to remember which lane I was going to be in, because it's right on the outside, and I only need to think of one number. So, the time in between my 100 free and the 100 breast, I had to make sure that I had something light to eat and to have a good swim down to get any lactic acid that I have built up from the previous race. This 100 breast was a solid swim. I was a bit soft on the first 50 metres because I felt like I had too much energy coming back on the second 50. That being said, I put up a solid time which was a season's best. This was one of the last races of the day, so we had to swim down, get ready and go straight back to the hotel to have some food and then go to bed because it was getting very late and we were all very, very tired from today. Tomorrow to be continued.
Tomorrow.
Oh, that's proper bed hair, isn't it? Right, that was day 1, done and dusted yesterday. I done the 100 metre freestyle and 100 metre breaststroke. Both very solid swims. I PB my 100 free. And I just missed out on a final for the 100 metre breaststroke, but it was in a really stacked field, so I'm really happy with the outcome of the race, with all things considering with the conditions yesterday. So as the finals are on this morning, I've managed to have a lie-in because I'm not going to be racing till later on this afternoon, this evening. So tonight I've got the 400 IM and 200 breaststroke. Yeah, that's a good double to do, I guess. So right now I'm going to go and get some breakfast, and I think we're going to go and get some lunch straight after, just for later on. But yeah, just chill for the rest of the day now until we have to go back to the pool. And just like that, we are back at the pool. As I mentioned, I have got the 400 IM and the 200 breaststroke. My favourite double. Not. Nah, I don't mind it. I've done this double so many times now, it's just the norm, really. Whenever I have done this double, it has always started with the 400 IM first. I've never done it the other way around, and quite frankly, I don't think I want to, because no one wants to finish on a 400 IM. I am in lane 2 for the 400, and again, I am in the first of the seeded heats. In this race, my coach and I decided to try a new tactic, and that was to up my stroke rate a tiny bit on the fly, and see how that would affect towards the back end of the race. The fly felt nice and smooth, didn't feel any fatigue throughout this 100, which is what you want. Then came the backstroke leg. This is my weakest leg, but I have been working hard to keep improving on it, and it's slowly but surely getting there. On the breaststroke leg, like I mentioned in my previous video from the N&Ds, breaststroke is my strongest stroke, so that's when I start to make a move and try to catch up to the people in front. On the last 100 metres, the freestyle, I had a good inkling whereabouts I was. I knew I was about 3rd or 4th position, so I didn't need to push on. So I saved a little bit of energy because I knew the place I was in, I was going to make the final. And also knowing that I have got the 200 breast 2 hours later. The time I put up was very good. It was faster than what I'd done in Burns meet. And I know I can give a lot more for the final the next morning because, like I say, I backed off on the freestyle. I had made the A final and I'm going in 6th.
2 hours later.
Aye, so it was around 2 hours later till I stepped up on the blocks again. This time it was a 200 metre breaststroke. I am in lane 7 for this event, so it's the first time that I'll be at the top of your screen. I'm in the 3rd lane in from the top. The plan going into this race was just to empty the tank and see what I had left, and making sure that I had a spot in the final the next morning. Like I always do, I took the first 100 metres nice and controlled, and making sure I was hitting my stroke count. The key for this event is to make sure that you always have a good back end to the race. Otherwise, if you go out too fast, it will be a very painful 200 metres. The last 100 metres I upped my stroke count, but also making sure I was getting enough power through each stroke. I started to feel the fatigue from the 400 IM in the last 50 metres of this race, and boy, that hurt. Even though this really hurt, I put a season's best time up and secured my place in a B final for the next morning. So that means I've got the painful double to do all over again. Woohoo! As you can imagine, I was very tired at this point, and I just wanted some food and go straight to bed, because we had to be back at the pool the next morning to do it all over again in the finals, which will now be featured in part 2 of this video, so stay tuned for that. Day number 2 finished.